I'm actually really happy to be covering this list because I've low-key been a huge fan of Meklords for a while. If you guys might have peeked this channel back in 2012, 2013, I was messing around with a Meklord, basically, control list back in the day. Darkholm was a little bit more prevalent back in the day. We had more one-for-one destruction. So basically, you would play the deck as a stun engine with the ability to drop YZL near the end of the turn if your opponent would attempt to out your field. Basically, because as soon as your one monster is outed by a card effect, you have to immediately beam this out. We actually saw this near the end of Zoo's life, actually, too, where this was coming up as attack option against the format. Now, because spell negation and 2500 body that could deploy itself, it's actually quite good. Well, recently, the OCG just got a major power up for Meklords, and I'm very happy to be covering this today because it definitely, my nostalgia bone has been piqued, and it's a good thing. Trust me. The OCG getting the chance to get Meklords as a power up is an extremely awesome thing. I still think that they need a little bit more at the end of their life. Don't get me wrong. We can always hope for a little bit more for the deck, but fundamentally, most of the big guys still are going to require that one card on the field to get popped so that they can float out. I do like the fact that YZL is a 2500 level 1. There's some pretty cool interactions there, but he does have to be special summoned through his own effect to effectively hit the field. So downside 2500, or upside 2500, downside you're not going to be doing other cheese things unless you're bypassing the summoning conditions through the archetype. So let's kind of step through the list here, see what this was doing. This did come out of an OCG Locals, did relatively well. I think it was first or second place for it. So we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom, Enjoy Spring. Our standard negator, this is going to be the thing that we're going to kind of hold on to and make sure that we cannot get Max Seed. Speaking of Maxi, we have 2 copies of the Oppressor himself, Maximus Outputtus. This is going to be the thing that is going to grant us the massive draw factor that we need, and I will say that this card is ridiculously powerful for what it is. Now, we have triple copies of the Meklord Army Arsenal of Obligato. So during your main phase, you can activate this effect. You can not special summon monsters for this turn except for machines. So this does hard lock you into machines, but honestly, machines have enough utility on their own that getting a hard lock into the machine archetype, or the machine typing, no problem whatsoever. Also, destroy this card, so we get a pop off, and if you do, special summon 2 Meklord army monsters from your deck in defense mode, except for himself. Okay, so, and those effects are negated. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate this effect. During the end phase of this turn, inflict 100 damage to your opponent for each Meklord monster you control. So basically, we're going to get a pop-off of a little bit of damage to our opponent, which is actually going to be excellent for time. And we get the ability to pop this, bring out 2 guys. Alright, so actually that's really free bonus material there for that. So I just love the fact that you get to ping your opponent for a little bit of damage for really no reason. Also the fact that this just breaks down and basically lets you go into a link to if we had a good machine one. But hey, free real estate for Meklords. Alright, so we play 2 copies of the Meklord Army of Granel. So this thing comes in at 1612. This card gains 100 attack for each Meklord on the field, except this card. So when you pop off our Rescue Cat here, you'll actually have this come out at 1700 attack, but it doesn't matter because it's got to come out in defense mode, but it's relevant. You can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, half that target's attack until the end of the turn. So basically we get a free half on this if it's on normal. Outside of that, you're just bringing out a 1700 attack monster for no reason. But skill, this hat gains 200 attack for each Meklord on the field, except for itself. And when this card is destroyed by battle and sent into the graveyard, it's possible to summon 1 mech army monster from your deck. So effectively, if they do out this, you do float down into another one of your armies. And then we have the triple copies of the Meklord Army of YZL. So this is 1800, gains 100 attack for each Meklord on the field, except for itself. Once per turn, when another Meklord monster declares an attack on a defense position monster, you can activate this effect. During that battle, attacks defense position monster, you get to deal piercing damage to your opponent. This isn't great, but the only thing that we're really going for here for our mileage on this is it is going to be a 1900, 2000. Once you start climbing up those ladders for the larger numbers, you'll be putting that pressure on the opponent. It's kind of what you want, but yeah, these guys are basically pretty big bricks for the deck. Then we have the triple copies of the Meklord, Astro Dragon, Triskiel. So this is our new boss monster, effectively, coming in at, what, 3,000 0. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by banishing 3 Meklord monsters with different names from your graveyard. Seems easy enough, right? Once per turn, when this card declares an attack, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and equip 1 card from it to this card. This card gains attack equal to the combined attack of monsters equipped to it by this effect. This equipped monster with a synchro monster can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. So basically, we load this up, bring out 2 guys, and as long as we can technically float into something else, we'll be good to go. The big thing with this, though, is you get a free extra deck rip from your opponent. Problem is, you're not going to be able to do it on the first turn because it's when it swings, so that's your real big downside, but it's fine. We also play 1 copy of Meklord Granul himself, the big 4K. So you can only summon this by sending 3 Meklord monsters from your hand to the graveyard. Keep that in mind. That's a summoning condition right there. Once per turn, you can target 1 synchro monster your opponent controls. Equip that card to this card. This card gains attack equal to combined attack of monsters equipped to this card by this effect. Once per turn during the standby phase, you can send 1 of the equipped monsters to the graveyard. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to the monster's original attack. You cannot conduct your battle phase turn you activate this effect. For this being the big powerhouse behind the deck, this is kind of bad. And then, of course, Granul, his attack is equal to half your opponent, or half of life points. We have Wizel for the double Wizel for the negate. We don't play Skill. Skill's bad. Alright, we have triple copies of Meklord Emperor Wizel Synchro Absorption. Alright. So this is our cool new form. We're 25-25 now. Cannot be normal summer set, must be special summoned by its own effects. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can send 1 face-up Meklord monster you control to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect of Meklord Emperor Wizel Synchro Absorption once per turn. If this card is special summon, target 1 monster your opponent controls. It cannot attack for the rest of this turn. When a card or effect is activated that would destroy a card on the field, quick effect, attribute this card to negate that activation if you do destroy it. This is actually quite the powerhouse. On a 25-25 body for protection, it's not bad at all. And it's along any Meklord, by the way, you can tribute off to bring this on out. Also, you get to stop something through this effect. It's also really good. Then we have triple copies of the Meklord Nucleus Infinity Core. The first time this card will be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not. And then you can use 1 of these effects. So if this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Meklord spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. If this card is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon 1 Meklord Emperor monster from your hand or deck with a different attribute from the monsters you control, ignoring its summoning condition, and it can attack. Oh, you can only attack one monster for the rest of this turn, but that's fine. Alright, so Nucleus here gives us many things that we needed in this deck. We have 1 Feather Duster, and then we have triple copies of the Meklord Assembly. So when this card is activated, you can add 1 Meklord monster from your deck to your hand. And then you can use each of the following abilities once per turn. So you can discard a card, target 1 monster you control, destroy it. If a face-up Meklord monster you control is destroyed by a battle card effect, and target 1 other face-up spell trap card on the field, destroy it. So basically this just grants us the ability to destroy something, and it lets us tutor for, whatever piece we need for the combo. We have 2 1-for-1s for good cool cards. We have 1 Avarice for recyclability. Triple copies of Supply Squad because draw power. Then we play triple copies of the Cruel Mercy of the Meklord Astro. Target 3 Meklord monsters in your graveyard with different card names, and either add them to your hand or special summon them ignoring their summoning conditions. Until the end phase of your next turn after this card resolves, you can add special monsters except for machine monsters. If you control a Meklord Astro monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard to destroy 1 single monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. Summon 3 bypassing summoning conditions. That's all I needed to hear. Value Town. Extra deck, kind of whatever you want to fit in, but this is what we had on the OCG side. We have one Underclock, one Anima, one Genius. Oh, we do have a good card. We have one Linkuriboh, one Borreload, one Gustav, one Superdora, one Dreadnought, one Giant Hand, one Arc, one Gigant, Cowboy, Rebellion, and the one Trishula. Wrapping this up. Level 4. Level 4. Level 4. We can get to Gigant. And yeah, actually you can just tutor for the synchro absorption off of this. It's actually pretty cute. So guys, what do you think about Meklords? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And well guys, I'm out. Take care. Peace. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCall40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCall40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcallgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.